All right, today, guys, we're going to be working on Chapter 5, Section 4. We're going to learn how to apply all the trig functions we've been talking about. Make sure you put this triangle in your journal. We're going to be referring back to it over and over and over again until you guys get this concept. We go to problem number 1. I'm going to draw the triangle right here. I'm going to label this capital A, capital B, capital C, lowercase a, lowercase b, lowercase c. I need you guys to understand, whenever you see a capital letter, that's referring to an angle. A lowercase letter refers to the length of the side. In problem number 1, Noah, what was given to us on problem number 1?
Angle.
Angle. What angle?
A.
A. So the capital A is equal, could you tell me what it's equal to?
55 degrees and
55 degrees and 55 minutes. What else was given to us?
Side length C is 16.
So lowercase c is equal to the length of 16, and just write the word units. Okay? And what are we attempting to find or locate?
Side
Side A. So we need to find the distance of lowercase a. That's what we're going to find. Every single time you guys do a problem, you have to figure out 2 things. What do you have? This is what you have. And what do you need to find? It always breaks down to those 2 concepts. What do I have? What do I need? After you do this, right up here in this top corner right here where angle A is, this is, by the way, this triangle is not drawn to scale. I'm just labeling it 55 degrees and 55 minutes. I'm going to shade it in because this is the perspective that we're going to be solving this problem from right here. Okay? Right here it says C is equal to 16. But C equals 16. And A is equal to what we're trying to find. Bless you. Bless you. God bless you. There you go. Does anybody remember, at this point, what do you always notice me doing after I shade in an angle? Yes.
You put what it equals.
Noah?
opposite line.
Draw the what?
Opposite line.
Okay, so I basically do a ray going to the opposite side. Why do I do that, Noah? Why do I do that process? Because what does this help me label every single time?
Opposite adjacent and hypotenuse.
Okay. Let's just stop. Just stop. The reason why I do this is because it helps me locate my opposite side only.
But you have that.
You're right. Can you stop arguing with me? It does help you locate the others.
But you have to have the others.
Noah was right as far as this helps you find everything else. But what's the very first thing that we always need to locate first in our process?
The opposite.
The opposite. The opposite side. Yes. This is the first thing we do. Which is the opposite side of the angle that we're referring to. Then, that's the reference angle. Then, yes, you guys can label C is the hypotenuse and B is your adjacent side. So what I'd like you to try to do is label your opposite side first, and then you can label your adjacent side with the hypotenuse. That's the whole purpose of the arrow. Yes.
I ain't gonna lie. If I didn't draw the arrow going down to the opposite, I wouldn't even know which one was which.
So that's why we do it. That's why we do it.
Yeah, I like it.
Now, everybody, I'm going to highlight the side that we're looking for. That's what we're looking for. I'm going to highlight the side that we have. The side that we're looking for is the opposite side. The side that we have is the hypotenuse. that right there, in and of itself, lets me know whether I'm going to use so, or to. So which one do you think would be the best one to utilize the information that we have? If we have the opposite side and the hypotenuse.
So,
Yeah.
sine.
Very good.
How do you know which one to use?
That's a great question. By the way,
And hypotenuse.
the O represents the opposite side. The H represents the hypotenuse. So therefore, since we are dealing specifically with the opposite side and the hypotenuse, we use sine. But if we were to have the adjacent side and the hypotenuse, we would use cosine. Or if we were dealing specifically with the opposite side and the adjacent side, then we would use the ratio that deals with tangent. Remember, this is sine, this is cosine,
Okay, that's what I didn't know.
this is tangent. Sine, cosine, tangent. Sine, so. Cosine, cut. TOA, tangent. Okay? Now, I want you guys to write this down, please. The sine of capital A, which refers to the angle, is equal to lowercase a over lowercase c. And I'm going to put the sine of capital A over 1. This is your trig ratio that you're going to be using, except we're going to be filling it in with numbers that we have. Now, capital A, we were given a certain specific measure that goes with capital A. And that measure is, everybody, 55 degrees and 55 minutes. And that is equal to lowercase a, which is, I don't know, over lowercase c, which I do know is 16.
The 55 minutes, 55 degrees, 55 minutes. You could do that only if it's degrees and minutes, or could you do that in decimals?
We're going to change it to decimals. So we have to take this now. I'm just setting things up, and then we're going to change this to a decimal.
So it has to be a decimal.
Yes. Now, you have a graphing calculator that you do have that function, but I'm not worried about that function right now. I'm worried about you being able to convert it to decimals, okay? So right here, we're going to take 55 minutes, everybody, out of 60 minutes in a whole degree, and that's going to approximately equal 0.916 repeating degrees. So 55 minutes out of 60 minutes is going to be 0.916. So please write this in your journal. The sine of 55, 0.916, I'm going to put repeating, close parentheses, equals a over 16. And yes, please place this over a 1. The reason why I'm placing it over a 1 is I want your brain to recognize a proportion that you dealt with since you were probably in 7th or 6th grade when you started working with proportions. Okay, now that we have everything set up, okay, and just in a quick little review, we had to change, everybody, we had to change this 55 minutes that we had right here. We had to convert it to degrees. So that's why I have a 0.916 right there. When you guys cross multiply, a times 1 is simply a. 16 times the sine of 55.916, well, that's why I need my calculator. Here's what I want you to write down. 16 sine, open parentheses, put 55.916 repeating, and that will give us an approximate value. So I'm going to go to my calculator right now. I'm going to clear this stuff out. I want your, listen, I need your degree, need you to be in degree mode in your calculator. So right over here, hit the mode button. Make sure your calculator is highlighted over degree mode. If it's not going to work. Okay? So I'm going to hit second mode, get me back to the screen, and type in 16. Hit the sign button. Automatically, what opens up? A parentheses. Type in 55.91, and just add a few sixes. You don't have to do it forever, okay? Because then we'd be here forever. All right? That's probably enough, okay? Press enter, and you get this answer of 13.25. I want you guys to round all of your answers to the nearest 10.
Yeah, I did it wrong. I got it.
13 point. So it would still be 13.
So just put 13.3 units. Check, hit the mode button. Make sure it's in degree mode.
Oh,
In radians mode. Isn't it?
yep. Show me where it says degree mode. Oh, look at that answer. Looks familiar.
So listen, at this point, you are now finished with number 1. We have 4 minutes and 30 seconds to do number 2. All right, everybody, number 2. First thing I want you to do on number 2 is simply to draw your triangle. Make sure this is not drawn to scale. You're just labeling A, B, and C. Lowercase a, lowercase b, lowercase c. Miranda, could you please tell me the given information of what's given to us in problem 2? So A, lowercase a equals 9. Capital B equals 49 degrees, and find lowercase b. Okay, so the very first thing I'm going to do, everybody, is I'm going to label my angle right here. There's 49 degrees. I'm going to shade it in. All right, and Taylor, what am I going to do now that I've
You're going
shaded
to
it?
draw an arrow straight to the opposite.
So put up with O, P, P, which means my C value has to be my hypotenuse. And my A value in this particular case is my adjacent side. And I'm also going to label my A value equals 9. Okay? Now, we are looking for what letter? We are looking for lowercase b, which means I need to find this. This is what I need to find. So hold on, what do we have? We have our adjacent side. We need to find our opposite. So let's look at this. Ready? So, or, tua. Which one are we going to use here? Tangent is correct.
Opposite and adjacent.
Exactly. The reason we're using tangent is because we basically have our what? We have our adjacent side, but we're searching for our opposite side. You have to know how to locate which trig ratio you're going to use. So I'm going to write the tangent of what angle do I have to plug in here? 49. So 49 degrees. Now this one's easier because we didn't have to convert any minutes to degrees, did we? Okay.
And they all are like that.
If we needed to, it would be divided by 6. All right. Now, what is my opposite side, everybody? Lowercase b. What is my adjacent side equal to? 9. And what are we going to put the tangent of 49 over? 1. And what did we set up? We set up a proportion. Now, this is a very easy proportion to solve because when you guys cross multiply, you get b times 1, which is b. And then you get 9 times the tangent of 49 degrees. And automatically, understand I'm not putting the degree symbol there because it's automatically understood that you're dealing with degrees right here. So go to your calculator, hit the 9, type in, not cosine. Go back here, hit tangent of 49. 10.35, but if we round it to the nearest tenth, that becomes a 10.4 units. That's why we do more than one problem together in a class. The first time you're trying to look for the pattern. The second time you're trying to establish the pattern even more. Okay? So, right now, all you got to do, there you go. So once you guys try to do number 3 on your own, what are you going to have to do on number 3? You're right, but you're also going to have to convert what? Convert this 48 minutes, 48 minutes to a whole degree. So how would you do that? 48. You're right. So right here, guys, that's going to equal 0.8. So I want you to understand, on angle B, it's going to be 56.8 degrees. That's the decimal equivalent for number 3. Go ahead and try that on your own.